All right, U.S. President Donald Trump's longest-serving political aide has announced that she is leaving the White House. Communications Director Hope Hicks will officially finish her job in the next few weeks. That announcement coming just a day after she spent 9 hours testifying before the House Intelligence Committee, saying she occasionally tells, quote, white lies as part of her job. So joining us to talk about Hicks' departure is the Globe and Mail's Adrian Morrow. Adrian, good morning. What do you make of the timing of this?
I think that the pressure was building on Hope Hicks for quite a while. I mean, for the last 3 weeks or so, it came out about 3 weeks ago that she had sort of helped manage the fallout from White House Staff Secretary Rob Porter's the revelations that he had that he was accused of domestic abuse by his two ex-wives, and it came out that Hope Hicks had sort of initially crafted the White House's response, which was quite glowing about Porter, sort of in the first 24, 48 hours or so of that scandal, and it came out also that she was dating Rob Porter at the time when she did this, and so the pressure was sort of building on Hope Hicks for a couple of weeks over this because I think there was a question not only of the conflict of interest. I mean, the fact that she was dating the guy as she was sort of trying to defend him, but also the sort of judgment call that she made that she decided to defend a guy who was accused of some pretty heinous stuff. And then it was only sort of after the stories were out, about a day or so afterwards, that the White House kind of reversed course and said, okay, this is bad and this is wrong, and sort of had him resign. So I think that was sort of this was something that was building for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it's unclear sort of at this point whether the Senate testimony kind of pushed over the edge, but.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. What was the general reaction to this admission, in front of the committee, saying that she told lies as part of her job?
Yeah, it's maybe not surprising to hear that somebody in the Trump administration lies. I mean, I think what is surprising is that somebody in the Trump administration would admit to lying. Because, I mean, making false statements is kind of a big part of Trump's, modus operandi. But I think this might be the first time that somebody within the administration has actually been upfront about that and said, yes, we don't always tell the truth. That said, I mean, I think she was under so much pressure sort of initially that it's not really clear that was sort of the motivating factor, though maybe it was the straw that broke the camel's back. Certainly being sort of under scrutiny in the Russia probe, I think, didn't help, though.
Right. I was going to ask about that. What do you make of this idea that perhaps Hope Hicks wanted out, given where the Russia investigation is going? When you look at the fact that she's been with Trump since the Trump organization, she was brought in as part of the team. She went to the White House. She is his longest-serving political aide. Is it possible, she knows what it means to go on the record in front of the committee. She knows the weight of a word like lies. Is it possible that she wanted out?
I think so. I mean, I think everybody in the White House has been under a lot of pressure on the Russia investigation, and in some ways it's interesting that there wasn't sort of more discussion of Hope Hicks and kind of the potential role that she might have played, or at least the sort of things that she would have known about, because, as you say, she's been with Trump since the very beginning of his campaign. I think in the opening of his campaign, it was just her and Corey Lewandowski were sort of the two staffers who were traveling with him all the time. So I mean, it's fairly inevitable that she's probably heard a lot of stuff, has seen a lot of stuff, and so of course she's somebody that investigators would really like to talk to, and you can sort of imagine how she's probably known this for a long time, that at a certain point, she was going to be in this position where, the investigators would want a lot of information out of her, but she's very loyal to Donald Trump and probably doesn't want to say or do anything that's going to sort of hurt his presidency. So you can kind of imagine that this pressure has probably been building on her for quite a while, and it's maybe not surprising in a sense that after, try working for Donald Trump for 2 years, let alone, working for him under these sort of circumstances, and potentially being, a key witness in the Russia investigation.
All right, let's talk about the effect on Donald Trump. We know that he likes to keep those close around him, those he's known for a long time. He has lost several known entities, people that were close to him. How do you think that this is going to affect him?
Yeah, I think Hope Hicks was in a very unique position around Donald Trump, in that she was somebody that he clearly very much trusted. She was sort of his gatekeeper for a long time, both during the campaign and then in the White House. So she was sort of the person that he depended on to mediate his access with other people. People who wanted to talk to Donald Trump generally had to go through Hope Hicks. And on top of that, she sort of mediated a little bit of the information flow to the president. I mean, he certainly gets a lot of it out of cable news and Twitter, but to the extent that there was sort of an attempt to filter information that he was receiving, she was kind of a big part of that. So I think to a certain extent it is a blow to Trump. I think she's somebody that he really depended on, and not having her there, it's not really clear to me that he's going to have anybody who kind of fills that role. Maybe his daughter and his son-in-law, but that's really about it.
Hey, just before we let you go, I wanted to ask you about something. Ben sat down earlier this year with Anthony Scaramucci, who said, hey, I'm open to returning to the White House. So now that there's an opening, is it possible we'll see the mooch back?
Not if John Kelly has anything to say about it. I mean, I think at this point, both the sort of main White House factions now, John Kelly, the chief of staff, and Ivanka Trump, the president's daughter. I don't think either of those people are necessarily the biggest, the biggest fans of the kind of drama and chaos that Scaramucci brought with him. I mean, they've already got one uncontrollable person in the White House. I somehow doubt that they're going to want to bring in another one. But you can't really predict anything with this White House, so I could be wrong about that.
All right, you said a mouthful there. All right, Adrian, it's good to talk to you this morning. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.